2004 and 1988 were the gold medal moments for the United States of America, who are yet to register in this game. Darlene Hunter there, failing to score from inside the paint. And on the breakaway, Germany scored their second basket. Annika ZEYEN but Murray quick to respond. And Germany so far 2 from 2 in their 2-point attempts. And the US only 1 from 5. And Germany again will look to draw the foul here. It was ZEYEN who was sent tumbling. And there was massive commitment there from both her and Schneider. And it's ZEYEN who will go to the free throw line. No nerves from her in the early stages. Although she misses the second attempt. And Germany's silver medal in Beijing, their only Paralympic medal. And they qualified for London 2012. They came second at the World Championships held in Birmingham in the UK back in 2010. And they beat Holland and then Australia in the knockout games before losing to the US again in the final. So they have scores to settle with the Americans. The referees here just having some consultation with the officials on the side of the court. And it's very much the early sparring from both teams. Chance for both teams to head towards the sideline. With the timeout called. And if you want to watch more Paralympic sport, then continue to log on to Paralympic.org throughout the games. And you can also like the Paralympic movement on Facebook at facebook.com/Paralympic Games, or follow us on Twitter at Paralympic. Murray going from range again. And it's all been rather stop-start in the last few moments. And the referee's been called together here, and there seems to be some issue with the timing. So plenty of opportunities for both coaches to speak with their teams at the moment, with very little happening out on the court. Both teams heading to the sideline again. And there's a couple of looks of bemusement among both sets of players here. So wear them out, the message from the American coach, David Kiley. So Annika ZEYEN with 3 of her team's 5 points so far. And the discussion about the clock here continues. And now it's been reset to 7:35 with 8 seconds on the possession. And Matt Wells, the umpire, finally gets the game underway again. Murray. A chance inside the paint, which is taken by Darlene Hunter. And if you're new to wheelchair basketball, the players are classified with a number between 1 and 4.5. The highest number has the least physical impairment as Germany open up a 3-point lead once again. Adina Müller. And the coach is only allowed 14 points or no more than 14 points on the court at any time. So it's having to mix the players of varying physical impairments. As the third basket for the US is scored by Jennifer Chu. And it's a fast break again. ZEYEN inside the paint and making no mistake. And the quick breaks for the Germans, causing the Americans a few problems early on. It's been a rather slow start from the Olympic champions. Nichols unable to force the effort there, but it's recovered superbly by Murray. And Germany so far have not missed a basket, 4 from 4. And you contrast that with 3 from 7 from the US. Just confirmation of that. And that was ZEYEN scoring earlier on with the fast breakaway. And Murray's response from the US. ZEYEN has 5 points so far, Murray 4. And there is the first miss from the Germans, and it could cost them on the break. It's Miller. Gets the rebound, and this time there's no mistake. And the US take the lead for the first time. So the presence of mind there to pick up the rebound. And Gesche Schönemann is on the court for the first time for the Germans. She's one of their 4.5 classification players with the lowest level of physical impairment. So there's responsibility on her. And she set up the chance there for Mohn again. Schneider. And the whistle goes. Miller going for the second time and making no mistake. Schönemann underneath with Zeyen. And she does well to come back onto the court and recycle possession. Mohnen. At the top of the key. The opportunity is spurned there by Zeyen. And the Germans have failed to score with their last 4 attempts from 2-point range. Murray. Another offensive rebound for the Americans. Here's Castle. And Murray again. And now Zeyen. There's a real tempo to this game. Schönemann, Müller inside the paint and into the basket. Murray. Miller. A nice move inside from Castle. The offensive rebound. Hunter. And she will draw the foul. Gesche Schönemann there. And the interchange from the Americans. Chu and Woodson-Smith coming into the game. And that's a nice shot from outside the paint. And the US have opened up that 4-point lead. Zeyen, who's been very busy in the opening quarter. Schönemann. Shot clock is winding down. And the Americans with the defensive rebound, but it's stolen very well by Müller. Got the makings of a high-quality game, this one. Mohnen with finishing like that from Schönemann. Murray, 8 points already for her. Chu inside the paint and back outside to Miller. And the game with a real pace at the moment. And if you've just joined us in the final minutes of the first quarter, in the gold medal rematch from Beijing 4 years ago, the USA leading Germany 17-13. The Germans made a very strong start. All 4 of their opening baskets were successful. But 8 points since from Desi Miller has helped to put the Germans in control here. And a timeout is called. And the United States already have one victory, beating the French 63-24. This Germany's debut at London 2012. And as you can see, both teams have a very similar ratio of shots leading to baskets. 6 from 12 for Germany, 8 from 14 for the United States. And Desi Miller has been one of the players to give the Americans a lead, which may be a tenuous one at this stage. And the US looking to make it 3 gold medals in succession, with another success here in London. Germany have picked up silver medals, having lost to them in both the most recent Paralympic Games and the World Championships. As the shot clock winds down, Schönemann can't find the basket. And it's the end of what's been a very lively opening quarter. And another big crowd here inside the basketball arena, appreciating what they're seeing. So the US have the edge, a 4-point lead. And they recovered well after Germany made the stronger start. And this has the makings of a very tight game all the way through. And the star performer so far for Germany, we have to look at Annika ZEYEN. 5 points very early on in the game. And for the United States, Rebecca Murray, the top scorer so far in the game, wearing number 4 there with 8 points. Desi Miller supporting with 5. And it's been a fine all-round performance from her so far. And this German side is a relatively young one. Many of the players are in their early 20s. We do have Britt Dillman, who is the veteran at the age of 49. We're yet to see her on the court so far today. And also Angret Breisman at the age of 40. And that's a decent start to the second quarter for Germany. Gesche Schönemann again. Murray was maybe thinking about the three-pointer there. And Miller goes for two and makes it. Zeyen driving towards the paint. Muller. And she was slightly off balance there in the end, Mohnen, and as a result, unable to complete the basket. And here's Castle. And now Murray. And as they move inside, the whistle goes. Schönemann in the thick of it again. That was her opening basket in the second quarter. But there was a very quick response. Sarah Castle. And now Murray, the game's top scorer so far, looking to extend her tally, but the shot clock had expired. And Germany are very quick to try and build an attack of their own. And Schönemann unlucky there. Tries to recover. I think a wheeler's come off there. So some running repairs for Gesche Schönemann. These titanium wheelchairs can cost as much as €5,000. And they have an average lifespan of about 6 months. So it can be an expensive sport to play. Schönemann underneath, makes no doubt. So she becomes the German top point scorer so far. We're yet to see a three-pointer in this game, or on the court so far today. Rebecca Murray going close there, one of the American youngsters in the team, only 22, with a 2.5 classification. Schönemann, Muller, and the German efficiency inside the paint is not what it was right at the start of the game. Holloman. Miller, Holloman was slightly off balance, but it was no problem in the end. She's only 16. One of the youngest competitors here in the wheelchair basketball. Plays in Minneapolis. Schönemann underneath. Offensive rebound. But not at the second time of asking. And here is the teenager again. Great support all around the attacking area from the Americans, but Holloman and Chu rather on the wrong wavelength there. But it's been a tight second quarter so far, 4 points apiece. So the Americans retain their 4-point lead. But it may only be temporary. Schönemann. Castle, plenty of support inside for the Americans, and it's Murray, but the whistle goes. Annabelle Breuer just checking Murray's progress there. Holloman just lingered around the ring there. And now Velin, Schönemann. Nicely helped on by Castle. Chu. Didn't really have a teammate driving through there to make the angle for the pass. And the proficiency of both at scoring field goals has dropped since the first quarter. Rather epitomised by what we saw there from Annika ZEYEN. And that's Schönemann who's hitting the court there. And a timeout is called. So nothing to choose between these two teams in the second quarter so far. The game possibly hasn't matched the quality of what we saw in the opening stages. Germany are now 8 from 23 for 2-point attempts. The US 10 from 18. And that is the difference between the two sides. Here is Desi Miller. Three-pointer. Nowhere near in the end. And this sport was developed to help World War II veterans recover and cope with their injuries. And so Ludwig Guttmann also developed a sort of hybrid basketball, netball sport to be used at the Stoke Mandeville Hospital as well, and made its Paralympic debut back in Rome in 1960. And the sport has grown to such an extent there are 264 wheelchair basketball athletes here at London 2012. And these two teams are the main contenders for gold medal on recent form in the women's competition. Only 4 points apiece so far in the second quarter. And Germany unable to cut the deficit there. And Joanna Whalen plays in Munich. And now Miller. Nichols. Every player has to bounce the ball with every 2 pushes of the wheel, or they'll be pulled up for travelling. Miller. And it's not been a quarter so far to help the shooting stats. Zeyen. Schönemann. And the top scorer in the game so far. But there's no room. The German defense has been very, very good. Offensive rebound is gathered, and eventually it's put in by Schneider. And the Americans open up a 6-point lead for the first time. Zeyen, but it's only temporary. Miller. The shot in the end came from Nichols. Schönemann almost runs out of room as the whistle goes. Sarah Binsfield there was sticking closely to her. Here was the finish from Zeyen. Schönemann, three-pointer. Just glancing the outside of the ring. And Murray has been the star player so far. Hunter. Plays that pass blind, but she knew Miller was in the vicinity. Schneider, Murray, and the shot clock comes to a close for the Americans on that occasion. Germany's shooting percentage has now dropped to 33%. Schönemann can't find the target there. 9 from 28. And the Americans hovering around 50%, 11 from 23. And both teams have only had one trip each to the free throw line so far. Murray. Support inside from Miller. So it's been a very inconclusive quarter on the whole. 6 points apiece so far. But that could change here. Oh, it lingered. But Joanna Whalen makes it a 2-point game. Murray. Clatter of wheels coming together around the German paint. Has to come soon. And not soon enough. So the Germans may get one final chance here to level the scores at the end of the first half. Just have a breather in the meantime. And look at that. Wobbled about 3 times around the ring. But Holger Glenicki will be happy at the way his team have stuck at it, if not their accuracy in and around the paint so far. It may only be a group game right at the start of the competition for the Germans, but there are psychological points to be struck here against one of their main contenders for the podium. Schoenemann will be disappointed. Only 25% accuracy so far. With her extra reach, she's very good at picking up the rebounds. 5 in total for her. One final chance here for the Germans to level the scores, which they take. Marika Alderman, and we are level at the end of the second quarter. And the Germans came strong there right at the end. And the Americans' 4-point lead was wiped out in the closing seconds. And that's a good recovery from the Germans after what was a fairly low-key quarter. And we're set up now for a fascinating second half, with the two sides tied at 23 points all. So both teams are out for the second half here. 23 points all after a fluctuating opening 2 periods. And there's still the opportunity for either side here to really lay down a marker in these Paralympic Games. Inevitably, if we do have a winner today, or whoever is the winner, they would be placed firmly as the gold medal favourites. The US starting the third quarter on the attack. Murray. Good work inside, but Nichols can't find the finish. Zeyen. Zeyen was given the time there as the shot clock was winding down. Both teams' efficiency around the basket in an attacking sense dropped the longer the first half went on. Hunter missing out there. Zeyen colliding with her teammate there. Valen, and that's a good steal. Schneider back there. And now Murray, who has been the shining light throughout the game for the US so far. Schneider. Murray. Hunter inside. Will draw the foul. Adaman just blocking her off there. And one of the youngsters in the American team here, Darlene Hunter. Plays for the Lady Mavericks in Dallas. And the two sides are still locked together here, and two players are also locked together. Hunter trying to extract herself from her teammate's chair. Hunter and Nichols are finally parted, or their chairs are. Still scoreless at the start of this third quarter. Murray driving in again. She's done that so well so far. Shot's got to come soon from Miller. And the ball is turned over again by the Americans. And Zeyen looking to quickly turn defense into attack. Mohn. That's nicely worked. But the shot in the end from Breuer doesn't find the basket. And that was one to stretch for there for Desi Miller. Not helped out by Natalie SCHNEIDER. And it's Zeyen again. Space inside the paint there for Zeyen. And the whistle goes. SCHNEIDER trying to recover for her earlier error there. And Germany have not led in this game for some time. And Zeyen will have one more opportunity here, which she fails to take. So the score unchanged since half-time. Both sides 1 from 4 for free throws so far in the game. Murray twisting and turning, heading into traffic, but coming out again. SCHNEIDER. Defensive rebound has been gathered by Adamant. Zeyen. And MOHNEN unable to give the Germans the lead again. Miller. And Miller and Zeyen. It almost had locked chairs again there. But both are mobile again. Murray. Murray again. Nearly 4 minutes of play. And no score since half-time. Both teams are finding it very difficult to set themselves for the relatively routine basket inside the paint, and that's a tribute to the defensive work of both teams. SCHNEIDER. Murray. And the ball stolen there, but illegally by Adamant. As Desi Miller was shaping to shoot. Both teams have struggled from the line so far. And that continues. One more. And finally, we have a basket in the third quarter. And it's a 1-point lead for the Americans. Eight points now for Desi Miller. And that's well kept in play. And the Germans looking for the quick response here. MOHNEN. Murray, the space inside the paint here. Schneider gobbling up the rebound. Mohnen, Schoenemann. Weiland, the shot clock winding down here. Schoenemann. And Rebecca Murray there with the infringement. And Schoenemann will have the opportunity to give her side the lead again. But both teams have found it very, very difficult to score from the free throw line so far. Germany 1 from 4. Now 1 from 5. It's well gathered though on the rebound. But Mohnen, despite the quick thinking, can't apply the finish. And it's a nervy third quarter here. Only 1 point scored so far. Germany have the ball back. Mohnen. A combined 3 from 12 from the free throw line so far. Murray. Miller. And Murray again makes the turn. But time beater. And there's plenty of tension out on the court at the moment. And that's been epitomised by the rather scrappy play we're seeing. And a timeout is called. And the Americans may believe they should be further ahead with the chances they've created in this third quarter. But both teams have a 2-point shot conversion now, slipping towards 30%. And the difference between the two sides is that the US have scored 2 of their 6 free throws, and Germany have only managed a single point. So Germany will resume with the ball on the attack. And it's with their guard, Annika ZEYEN. And they retake the lead again for the first time since the first quarter. Their captain, Marina MOHNEN. One of their 4.5 players. The highest classification means the lowest level of physical impairment. Long way to go in this game though. Here's Miller. Schneider doing her best to block off the German defenders. But the Americans are penalised. Only one basket scored by each side, but that changes now because the Germans open up a 3-point lead. Marina MOHNEN. And the Americans yet to score from open play in the third quarter. Schneider, until now. And this game looks as though it will go right to the wire. Schoenemann. Muller was strong inside there, now MOHNEN. That's good play. And the USA held a 4-point lead at the end of the first quarter, but they're coming back strongly here. Alana Nichols coming inside. And the German cover was breached pretty comprehensively there to make it a 1-point game again. MOHNEN, Dillman. And here's Miller. And all of a sudden, we have a flurry of points at both ends. Both teams are finding it difficult to stop the drive from the middle of the court. Like that, but in the end, the shot from the pass was slightly away from Zeyen. Schoenemann just trying to pick her out, and she was wheeling through towards the basket. And the Americans will head to the line again. Rebecca Murray. And we're level. And now the Americans have the chance to retake the lead, which Murray takes. And that's the first time in the game we've seen 2 points from a free throw opportunity. But here's Schoenemann. And this game now looks as though it's going to be nip and tuck all the way to the finish. Murray. Schneider. Oh, it thought about it for a long time. Muller all the way inside the paint. And the Germans will be keen not to be caught out here at the other end. It's Murray. That's a good offensive rebound, but the whistle goes as Nichols recovered. And the foul conceded there by Britt Dillman, the 49-year-old. And now Nichols will go to the line again. One more to come. Oh, and that's a double failure from the line. A let-off for the Germans. And they'll try and retake the lead here, but they won't. That's excellent play by Rebecca Murray. Will she have time to score? She does. Right on the buzzer. Rebecca Murray gives the Americans a 3-point lead to take into the final quarter. And it was scoreless for so long in that third quarter, but then both teams recovered the scoring touch late on. And Rebecca Murray there, great time management. And as we tick towards the final second, she made no mistake. And now Rebecca Murray joins Desi Miller on 10 points. They've scored almost 2/3 of the USA's points between them. And they've suddenly discovered how to score free throws. 4 from 10 for the Americans compared to 1 from 6 from the Germans. And while neither side will be overly impressed with their 2-point conversion, for Germany 39%, the USA 42%. The Americans may believe they've just played themselves not into a winning position here, but they've given themselves the platform heading into the final quarter. We're yet to see a 3-point conversion in the game. And a couple of those now for either side could be decisive as the Germans quickly bring themselves back into it. Adina Muller. And now Murray, who has really made the Americans tick throughout the game. Defensive rebound gathered by Muller. Schoenemann needs to be quick. And she is. The Germans back into the lead. And both teams determined here, it seems, not to leave anything out on the court today. Murray inside the paint. Not this time. Defensive rebound snaffled up by Muller. Schneider. Mohnen. Miller. Murray might run out of time here unless she can fashion a 3-point effort. Not too far away, but the buzzer had gone, but the Americans recover. So she obviously got that shot off just in time, and as a result, Schneider able to give the Americans the lead again. But it's a very tenuous one. Schoenemann, Dillman recovers well. Zeyen. Muller inside the paint. Schoenemann driving forward. It's Dillman again, but this time it's stolen by Miller. Murray. And Hunter just forced back there. So here's Murray, Castle inside. So the USA lead by a single point. When they won the final in Beijing, it was fairly comprehensive, 50 points to 38. This game promises to be a good deal closer. And that was neither a shot or a pass in the end. Muller. Now Schoenemann. Superbly taken. And I think we'll see the lead change hands on a number of occasions in the remaining 6 minutes here. But not there. Zeyen. Shot clock winding down. Zeyen knows it. The offensive rebound, though, is snaffled up by the captain, Mohnen. Miller, a three-pointer, would bring the Americans level. Nichols looking to regather. Hunter also underneath the basket. And here is Murray. Schneider. And her longer reach, rather like Gesche Schoenemann on the German team, is a real help inside the paint in those sort of situations. Schoenemann, the German top scorer so far, with 12 points. And now Schneider has 12 points herself to replicate that for the Americans. Muller, unchecked underneath. Murray. That's stolen well, though, by Schoenemann. The Americans will get the ball back, though. And Muller there, sneaking round the back. And the long range, gathered well by Muller before her chair capsizes. And it's all about time management now as well. And the coaches will know they have to take their remaining timeouts at the right time. Muller. Not this time. Now Murray. That was neatly done. And the chance is taken by Darlene Hunter. And we're back to a point. And the Germans here will know they can't afford to not take their chances inside the paint now. Schönemann. And that's good play. Annika ZEYEN again. Just showing calmness under pressure inside the paint. Murray. The Americans could nail a three-pointer now. It would make life very interesting, but they'll settle for that in the meantime from Desi Miller. Now it's the Germans' turn to try and re-establish their three-point lead. Mohnen. And Muller can't regather. And now it's Schneider. And Miller. Well, that pass was loose, but surprise, surprise, Murray was there to regather. And as a German goes tumbling, the American move breaks down. Exasperation there on the face of Alana Nichols. And a timeout is called. 1:49 to play. 1 point the difference between these two sides. And the Americans have been in this situation so many times before in major championships. Well, clearly, David Kiley believes that they're not getting too much joy coming inside the paint. So it's time to try and take the outside route and maybe stretch this German defence, which has been very solid down the centre. And before the timeout, Schönemann drew the foul. And the whistle goes before the basket is netted by Mohnen. So this is a real chance for the Germans. Desi Miller says she did nothing wrong. But this will be a real bonus here for the Germans, which is taken. And the captain, Marina MOHNEN, may have just won the game for them. And the US have got to start trying to go from long range now. Here is Murray going on the outside, and the space inside the paint. And the Germans there didn't pick up Darlene Hunter. Germans seem preoccupied with stopping the breaks out wide that Hunter was allowed to travel unchecked into the central area to apply the finish. And the Americans know they can't afford to concede on this possession. The Germans taking their time out, and Marina MOHNEN, the captain, has really come to the fore in the latter stages. Do the Germans try and eat up all of their possession here? Schönemann. Of course, if they could score a three-pointer, that would be it. But they're winding down the clock here, and that's well taken inside the paint by Annika ZEYEN. And it's a 4-point game again with 69 seconds to play. And the gold medalists here from Beijing are on the verge of defeat. Murray. Surely they have to get a three-pointer somewhere here. But Murray has drawn the foul. A look of innocence on the face of Schönemann. Just blocking her off there. Schneider. Ball's recovered. Nichols. And now Murray. They're looking to go wide again, the Americans. Schneider. Nichols underneath. And the Americans call a timeout. Nichols bringing the Americans back to within 2 points. And Schönemann, one foul away from being fouled out. And we may yet have overtime in this game. ZEYEN also on the verge of being fouled out. But the Germans here will try and eat up as much of the clock as they can. And that's a key basket. Netted by MOHNEN again. A 4-point game, and the Americans here have got to gamble. They've got to go for 3 points, surely. Schneider. This one has to go in. It doesn't. The Germans have the ball back, and the Germans have surely got the victory. And MOHNEN, who's come up with so many important baskets in the final quarter, 13 points for her now. And the frustration from the Americans sends the German captain back towards the free throw line. Pressure's off now. And it's going to look far more convincing than maybe it was in reality. Six points, the lead. And they've done the job when it mattered, the Germans. The Americans have got to go for three. It doesn't happen. And that's it. The gold medalists from Beijing are beaten here in London. There'll be no unbeaten march back to the top of the podium for the Americans this time. And revenge of sorts for the Germans, who've lost to the Americans in both the Olympic and World Championship finals, but they came strong when it mattered in the final quarter. And the United States have now been given something to think about by one of their main rivals.